Your spirit felt this before your mind understood it. Something has been shifting around you, silently, deliberately. Heaven has been preparing you for a place your feet have not touched yet. My beloved child, there is a reason your heart has been unsettled, a reason your nights have carried a strange weight, a reason you have felt watched over even in your quietest loneliness, for there is a move taking shape in the unseen, a divine relocation orchestrated by hands far greater than your own, and the house destined for you has already begun calling your name in the spirit realm, echoing through the corridors of heaven long before you ever saw a single glimpse of it in the natural world. And as I speak this over you now, something inside you awakens because part of your soul recognizes what your mind cannot yet name, for heaven has been preparing a dwelling for you that is not just brick and stone but destiny encoded into walls, a place where your spirit will breathe differently, where old wounds will lose their power, where forgotten prayers will resurrect, and where your feet will stand on ground that has been sanctified for your next becoming. And though you have felt abandoned by circumstances, you have never been abandoned by heaven, for every delay, every closed door, every season of restlessness has been a divine rerouting away from places that could not hold the magnitude of who you are becoming, and the whispers you have felt lately, the strange sense that something is about to unfold, are not random thoughts but spiritual signals, signs of alignment, confirmations that the timeline of your destiny is shifting, accelerating, awakening, and even when you doubted your worth or questioned your strength, heaven was rearranging the path before you, removing what was unworthy, exposing what was hidden, severing soul ties that drained you, and preparing you for a place where your spirit will finally feel at home. And this house, this destined house, is not merely a location but a spiritual turning point, a divine intersection where your old life dissolves into a greater calling, where the heaviness you've carried will break off, where clarity will descend like rain, where the version of you that heaven has been shaping in silence will finally rise into full expression, and as the angelic realm moves around you, you may feel waves of déjà vu, sudden chills, sudden urges to clean, detach, or prepare without knowing why, because your soul is shifting into the next season, sensing what your eyes cannot see yet, recognizing the place heaven has already written your name upon, and this move is not about luxury or pride but about restoration, alignment, and divine timing, for you have been pulled through storms that nearly broke you, yet each storm stripped away something that could not follow you into this next phase. And the spiritual weight you feel now is not fear. It is the gravity of destiny pulling you forward, the gentle force of heaven urging you toward a place where your spirit will rise, where blessings long delayed will finally locate you, where generational cycles will break the moment your presence fills the room, and though you may not understand why the old environment began rejecting you, why people changed, why you felt suffocated, why doors closed in rapid succession, it was not punishment but preparation, a divine eviction from a season. You are being guided toward a home where your purpose expands, where your peace multiplies, where you will feel the presence of heaven more tangibly than ever before, and as you step into this alignment, old shadows will fall away, hidden truths about your journey will be revealed, and inner wounds will begin to close, not because time healed them but because divine placement will bring spiritual elevation, and in this house, you will awaken in ways you have never imagined, seeing signs, sensing protection, hearing the quiet voice of heaven more clearly, and understanding why every battle, every heartbreak, every waiting season was necessary for this moment, for this shift, for this divine relocation that was written in heaven long before you were born, and though you do not yet hold the keys, heaven already sees you crossing the threshold, stepping into the light that has been prepared for you, breathing in a new atmosphere, rising into a new identity, and the angels assigned to you are already walking through the halls of this destined place, clearing the spiritual air, preparing the environment, aligning the energy, and making space for your arrival, for this house carries the frequency of your next breakthrough, the vibration of your future self, the healing you prayed for, and the divine alignment that will unfold the moment you step inside, and though your mind may resist, your spirit knows. And that knowing is why you are reading these words, why your heart is reacting, why your soul is stirring, because something holy is approaching your life, something irreversible, something divinely timed, something your enemies cannot stop and your fears cannot block, and this house, your next sacred dwelling, is the manifestation of heaven's intervention, a sign that your story is entering its turning point, a place where destiny descends like a sunrise, golden and unstoppable. And now I am going to tell you the secret. My beloved child, as you step deeper into this unfolding revelation, understand that what is happening around you is not random, not accidental, not coincidence, because heaven has been orchestrating movements in silence, weaving together signs, shifting timelines, redirecting outcomes, clearing pathways that once felt blocked, and even though you have walked through seasons where everything seemed uncertain, where your heart felt heavy, where you questioned why life kept shaking, this shaking was never meant to break you but to awaken what was dormant, to loosen what was clinging to you, to lift you out of places that no longer matched the frequency of your calling, for the spiritual realm has been stirring with urgency, aligning you with a house, a destiny, a location where your soul will flourish and your spirit will rise beyond the limitations you once allowed to define you. And this house that calls your name is not simply shelter, not merely architecture, but a spiritual vessel chosen for your next evolution, a container prepared by heaven to hold the version of you that is emerging, the version of you who is wiser, stronger, more aligned, more awakened, more aware of your divine purpose, and though you may feel unprepared, though doubt may whisper that you are not ready, heaven knows the truth of your potential, sees what your fear cannot see, feels the strength inside you even when you feel fragile. And the angels surrounding your life have begun their assignments. Some clearing out the remnants of old ties, some cutting the energetic cords of past attachments, some guiding you through moments of sudden clarity, and some delivering divine warnings through dreams, numbers, synchronicities, and unfamiliar intuition rising within you. For this is not a simple life change but a spiritual relocation designed to break cycles, to free you from emotional imprisonment, to lift you above the people who misjudged you, the environments that drained you, the patterns that kept repeating, and the heaviness that tried to settle in your bones. And heaven is saying that this move will not only shift your environment but shift your identity, because there is a version of you waiting in that house, a version who carries wisdom you have not accessed yet, clarity you have not seen yet, peace you have not felt yet, and as you settle into the space that has been divinely chosen for you, your spirit will begin to remember truths you forgot, promises you dismissed, visions you buried, and strengths you overlooked, for this house holds the energy of rebirth, restoration, and spiritual awakening, and the moment you step inside, it will feel like stepping into a memory from another lifetime, a place your soul recognizes even though your eyes do not, because destiny is not a future event. It is a returning, a remembering, a coming home to what heaven always intended, and while you have been worrying about timing, finances, resources, or uncertainty, the spiritual realm has been preparing what you cannot see, ensuring that doors will open, ensuring that what is meant for you will not pass by, ensuring that no force of darkness, no jealousy, no confusion, no delay will sabotage what heaven has already written in your timeline, and though you may feel the pressure of transition, the heaviness of endings, and the strange detachment from places and people you once felt connected to, understand that these sensations are divine signals, proof that your spirit is elevating, that your frequency is shifting, that your destiny is pulling you forward, because heaven will not allow you to remain in environments that dim your light, nor will heaven allow you to stay bound to relationships that speak to your wounds instead of your growth, and you may feel emotional waves in this season, moments of unexpected crying, sudden exhaustion, bursts of unusual energy, flashes of old memories resurfacing. Not because you are breaking down but because your spirit is cleansing, releasing, unbinding itself from the emotional debris of past seasons, preparing to inhabit a new space with a purified heart and awakened awareness, for the angels walking with you are removing spiritual residue, disconnecting you from toxic soul ties, clearing the fog from your mind, and guiding you toward the destiny-aligned path that leads to this house, this place where heaven has already planted seeds of your future blessings, and once you enter this sacred dwelling, the atmosphere will shift around you. Your sleep will become deeper, your dreams more vivid, your intuition sharper, your peace more stable, because the house will be blessed, cleansed, protected, filled with divine light and angelic presence before you ever step inside, and even now, as you read these words, something within you recognizes that this message is not metaphorical but literal, spiritual, prophetic, because you have felt an unseen pull, a growing sense that something new is approaching, a strange awareness that November carries a different energy, and this is not imagination but alignment, not fantasy but fulfillment, not coincidence but divine orchestration, for heaven is preparing you to rise, to expand, to step into a destiny that once felt unreachable, and though your journey has been long, heavy, complicated, and filled with moments that bruised your spirit, those wounds are turning into wisdom, those tears into understanding, and those broken pieces into spiritual power, and when you enter this chosen house, it will feel like your heart exhales for the first time in years, as if something you have been carrying will finally release, and you will realize that heaven did not forget you, that your prayers were never ignored, that every waiting season was leading to this divine moment, this divine location, this divine breakthrough that will open the next chapter of your life with holy force and heavenly clarity. And now I will uncover what was hidden. My beloved child, as the veil continues to thin around you, feel the weight of this truth settling into your spirit, for heaven is moving with a swiftness that your human senses can barely comprehend, and the spiritual realm has begun stirring in deeper, more concentrated ways, aligning every fragment of your journey with the destiny that awaits you inside the house prepared for your rising, because this next dwelling is more than a home. It is a threshold, a spiritual portal, a place charged with divine energy, holding the echoes of prayers you forgot you prayed, the imprints of promises heaven refused to let die, and the vibrations of a future that is rushing toward you with unstoppable force, and though you may have felt unworthy, overlooked, misunderstood, or discarded by people who could not see the magnitude of your spirit, heaven never misread you, never underestimated you, never judged you by your wounds, and never turned away from your silent suffering, for the angels assigned to your life have seen your tears in the midnight hours, felt the tremors in your chest when your hope thinned, heard the quiet questions you whispered into the dark, and carried every unspoken ache to the throne of heaven, and now your life is shifting because those agonies have reached their expiration date, and the weight you have been carrying is preparing to break off as you move into the environment that was always yours, the environment that holds the frequency of healing, elevation, identity, and rebirth, and there is a divine reason you have been feeling out of place lately, a reason old habits no longer satisfy your spirit, a reason the friendships you once clung to feel distant, a reason your intuition keeps warning you, nudging you, awakening you, because your soul is detaching from an expired season, creating space for what heaven has already written, and this detachment may feel painful, confusing, or sudden, but it is sacred, intentional, and divinely engineered, for your spirit is rising above the old vibrations that once surrounded you, and this spiritual ascent cannot be reversed, cannot be stopped, cannot be slowed, because heaven is pushing you forward with an authority that no earthly force can resist, and as you transition, you may notice emotional patterns resurfacing, memories of past relationships, echoes of old wounds, sudden reflections on decisions you made long ago. Yet these are not signs of regression but signs of cleansing, the final release before your spirit steps into the new dimension of clarity awaiting you in this house, this sacred place chosen by heaven long before you saw it in the natural realm, and heaven has been sending you signs. Dreams that felt too real to ignore, numbers repeating in quiet patterns, unexpected chills running through you, sudden waves of peace that make no logical sense, and moments when you felt watched over even in solitude, because your angels have begun strengthening their presence around you, intensifying their guidance, and clearing the energies that once suffocated your potential, and this house is more than aligned with your destiny. It is the manifestation of heaven's intervention, the physical proof that your suffering had purpose, that your waiting held weight, that your battles were shaping you into someone who could carry the blessings heaven is now releasing into your life, and in this new space, old spiritual residue will lose its grip, the loneliness that clung to your chest will dissolve, the confusion that clouded your mind will clear, and you will begin to see your life with a vision no longer distorted by fear or past pain, for heaven is restoring your discernment, sharpening your intuition, and cleansing your heart so that you may step into this new season without the chains that once restricted your light, and as this divine relocation draws closer, your spirit will feel different. More aware, more sensitive to energy, more connected to the invisible realm, more capable of recognizing divine warnings before danger approaches, because the spiritual awakening within you has accelerated, and this acceleration is not punishment but preparation, equipping you to stand in the fullness of your destiny once you enter the home that carries your future, and the house you are being guided toward will illuminate truths you did not know you needed, reveal revelations about your path, expose hidden motives of people around you, and bring clarity to the emotional storms that shaped your journey, and this clarity will not break you, it will free you, elevate you, empower you, helping you understand why certain people had to leave, why certain doors had to close, why certain relationships drained you, and why heaven was protecting you even when you felt rejected, for rejection was not cruelty. It was redirection, salvation, divine shielding from environments that could not nurture your spirit or match your calling, and the moment you cross the threshold of this destined home, something ancient and powerful within you will awaken, as though a previous version of your soul steps forward holding knowledge you have long forgotten, wisdom you have not accessed, and spiritual authority you have not yet embraced, because this home is tied to your unfolding identity, your spiritual ascension, your divine purpose, and your destiny's timeline, and even now, you may feel the subtle pull toward this truth, a strange alignment in your chest, a quiet knowing in your spirit, a sensation that something is shifting in the unseen, because heaven is drawing you closer, guiding you into a chapter that carries profound transformation, and as this transformation unfolds, you will look back at your old life with clarity, strength, and gratitude, realizing you were never abandoned. You were being prepared, refined, elevated, and position for something your spirit has been waiting for since the beginning of your journey, and now the truth is about to break open. My beloved child, as the divine currents continue to move beneath the surface of your life, feel how heaven draws even closer to you in this season, wrapping around your spirit with an intensity you have not felt in years, because this next chapter is not subtle, not soft, not quiet. This is a divine upheaval, a spiritual migration, the moment the old atmosphere breaks away from your energy and the new one rises like dawn inside your chest, and the angels assigned to you are standing guard at the edges of your destiny, ensuring that nothing from your past season can follow you into the home where your spirit will be reborn, and though your heart may tremble with uncertainty, though your mind struggles to grasp why life has been rearranging itself so quickly, trust that every shift, every ending, every sudden separation, every unexpected silence has been a deliberate movement of heaven clearing the path for your divine placement, because this house, this sacred destination, exists on a frequency your spirit has been aligning with for years, even during the moments you felt lost, broken, abandoned, or defeated, and now the spiritual realm is ushering you closer with increasing urgency, for the time of fulfillment is drawing near, and the weight you feel in your chest is not fear. It is divine acceleration, the intensity of destiny magnetizing you toward your next chapter with a force no human hand can interrupt, and there is a reason you have felt emotionally volatile lately, a reason small things trigger deep reactions, a reason your dreams feel prophetic, a reason your spirit wakes up at unusual hours sensing movement in the invisible. Because the angels around you are releasing revelations into your consciousness, preparing your soul to detach from the last remnants of the life you are outgrowing, and as this detachment deepens, you may experience memories resurfacing, not to wound you again but to show you how far you have traveled, how much you have healed, how many battles you survived, and how divinely protected you truly were even in the moments you felt forgotten, for heaven did not abandon you to the storms. You were being strengthened in the shadows for the season you are now stepping into, and in this season, the truth about your destiny will begin revealing itself with more force, more clarity, and more spiritual electricity than ever before, as if the unseen realm is lighting up the map of your future one revelation at a time, guiding you directly toward the home where your transformation will complete itself. And this house is not random, not merely available, not just convenient. It is assigned, chosen, spiritually coated with the energy of your next awakening, and heaven has been preparing it quietly, sanctifying it, cleansing it, filling it with peace, protection, and prophetic presence so that when you enter its space, your spirit will recognize it instantly, as though you have walked those rooms in your dreams, as though you have lived there in another lifetime, as though the air itself carries your name. And this recognition will not be imagination. It will be spiritual memory awakening in your bones, a reminder that destiny is not discovered but remembered, and as your spirit aligns with this memory, old soul ties will unravel at their final threads, releasing you from emotional prisons you did not know were still attached to your energy, because the angels have begun cutting every binding that could interfere with your rising. Every emotional residue that could dim your intuition, every lingering attachment that could distort your clarity, and some of these releases may feel intense, sudden, or overwhelming, but trust that these contractions are the final birth pains before your new life begins, and you may feel yourself withdrawing from people, craving solitude, sensing the need for silence. Not because you are breaking down but because your spirit is shedding what no longer belongs to your future, and heaven is guarding your energy fiercely during this time, preventing access to anyone who carries confusion, jealousy, or distraction, creating spiritual distance even where your heart once felt connection, and this distance is protection, divine strategy. A heavenly barrier ensuring that when you step into this destined home, you step in unbound, untainted, unburdened, fully aligned with the version of yourself that this new chapter requires, and the moment you walk into this house, the atmosphere will shift as though the walls themselves exhale relief at your arrival, as though the windows open to greet your spirit, as though the ground beneath your feet recognizes the soul it was built to hold, and in that instant, you will feel a profound release. The breaking of cycles, the dissolving of fear, the lifting of invisible weight, the emergence of clarity so sharp it feels like light pouring into every hidden corner of your being, and the revelations that will rise within you in that space will expose truths you did not know you needed, truths about your past, your patterns, your protection, your calling, and the divine hand that held you even when your faith trembled. And as these truths pour into your awareness, your identity will shift. Your purpose will sharpen, your intuition will grow louder, your heart will heal faster, and you will feel heaven breathing through your life with an intimacy that leaves you humbled and renewed, because this house marks the beginning of a greater spiritual awakening, the unfolding of a destiny that was delayed but never denied, and though the road has been long and heavy, the chapter approaching is drenched in divine timing, heavenly alignment, and supernatural favor, and as the angels march beside you into this new season, the light around your life will intensify, attracting blessings that once bypassed you, drawing miracles that once hesitated, and opening doors you once believed were sealed shut forever, because your spirit is finally rising into its rightful place, and heaven is ready to show you what was always meant to be yours. And now I am ready to expose what you were never told. My beloved child, as the divine momentum surrounding your life grows heavier and more radiant, feel how the spiritual atmosphere around you begins to pulse with purpose, because this is the season where heaven refuses to let you shrink, refuses to let you settle, refuses to let you return to the places that wounded you, for the destiny that awaits you inside that sacred home is far too vast, far too purposeful, far too intricately woven into your soul's evolution to allow anything from your past to hold you hostage any longer. And this is why you've been feeling waves of emotional turbulence, sensations of spiritual pressure, strange moments of reflection, and sudden awakenings in your chest, because your soul is being recalibrated, reshaped, elevated into the frequency of the life that awaits you, and the angels that walk beside you are intensifying their work. Cleansing your path, removing hidden traps, silencing the whispers of the enemy, exposing intentions that were disguised as friendship, and revealing truths you were once protected from because you were not emotionally ready to face them, but now your spirit is mature enough, awakened enough, strengthened enough to handle the revelations that must rise before your destiny can fully unfold. And as these truths begin to surface, do not fear the discomfort, for discomfort is simply the friction of transformation, the stretching of the soul as it breaks out of spiritual confinement and grows into the magnitude of its calling, and this calling is anchored to that house, the one heaven has already blessed, cleansed, secured, and aligned for your arrival, and even now, angels walk its rooms, touch its walls, clear its air, and prepare it for the vibration your spirit carries. Because heaven knows the exact moment your feet will cross its threshold, the exact day your heart will shift into its next dimension, and the exact breath when your spirit will awaken to the truth of why you were led through everything you survived, and child, nothing you endured was wasted. Every heartbreak expanded your compassion, every betrayal sharpened your discernment, every setback strengthened your resilience, every delay protected you from premature alignment, and every tear washed away spiritual debris that could not follow you into your next season, because the version of you stepping into that house must carry no energetic chains, no emotional parasites, no lingering guilt, no attachment to expired connections, and this is why heaven has been removing people from your life with a suddenness you did not expect, an abruptness that confused you, an intensity that felt unfair, yet understand that these were not losses. They were divine removals, heavenly interventions shielding you from energies that would have contaminated your rising, and as your spirit ascends, you will notice yourself craving peace, craving space, craving clarity, because your inner world is healing, opening, preparing to merge with the destiny encoded in the walls of your new home, and this home is not simply a place to live. It is a divine altar, a sanctuary, a spiritual reset point where your soul will shed its old scars, where your mind will reorganize its wisdom, where your heart will beat with new rhythm, and where heaven will whisper to you more clearly than ever before, because the environment you enter determines the expansion of your spirit, and heaven has chosen a location that aligns perfectly with your purpose, your healing, your future, and your divine identity, and as the angels continue their work, you may feel moments of exhaustion, moments where your body feels heavy, your thoughts feel distant, your emotions feel raw, because your spirit is shedding layers that were never meant to stay, and each layer that falls off brings you closer to the version of yourself designed for this next dimension, and though the shedding feels painful, trust that it is holy, for heaven is not stripping you. It is sculpting you, shaping you into the vessel that can carry the blessings, responsibilities, and revelations that will pour into your life once you enter this destined home, and this pouring will not be small or subtle. It will be a flood of alignment, a wave of restoration, a surge of clarity that breaks open your understanding and shows you that every moment of chaos was secretly constructing your becoming, and as this clarity unfolds, you will feel the presence of heaven moving through your days with unmistakable signs, guiding your steps, nudging your intuition, and revealing glimpses of the life waiting on the other side of this transition. And child, this transition is sacred, this shift is prophetic. And this move is spiritually engineered, for you are not moving by human decision but by heavenly instruction, not relocating for comfort but for calling, not seeking escape but stepping into elevation, and once your spirit fully aligns with this truth, you will understand why certain dreams kept returning, why certain numbers kept repeating, why certain thoughts lingered, why certain people felt uneasy in your presence, and why the atmosphere around you felt too small to hold your future. Because you were never meant to remain where you were. You were meant to evolve, expand, ascend into a space where your spirit can breathe without restriction, where your destiny can unfold without interference, and where your soul can finally rest in the presence of divine purpose, and that space, that sacred home, that destiny-coded environment is already waiting, illuminated by heaven, guarded by angels, and aligned with the timeline of your transformation. And your spirit is drawing nearer with every breath, every step, every revelation that unfolds, and now the next revelation rises toward you. My beloved child, as you approach the most transformative threshold of your life, feel how heaven wraps itself around your spirit with a force that is almost overwhelming, for this is not an ordinary transition. This is the spiritual migration your soul has been waiting for, praying for, aching for across countless silent nights, and now the divine clock of your destiny has struck its appointed hour, releasing a wave of energy that pushes you forward into the home chosen for your rebirth, your restoration, and your rising, and the reason your emotions have been so intense, so unpredictable, so heavy yet strangely hopeful is because your spirit is being expanded to hold what is coming, and the angels that walk beside you are removing the final layers of fear, doubt, guilt, and attachment that could sabotage your elevation, clearing the atmosphere around your heart so that you may step into this new chapter unburdened and aligned. And child, this alignment is sacred, powerful, and irreversible, because heaven has decided that the struggle you endured is no longer your home, the pain that shaped you is no longer your identity, and the environments that suffocated your light can no longer contain the magnitude of who you have become. And as your spirit rises, the people around you may feel it, even if they cannot explain it. Some will feel threatened, some will feel distant, some will feel confused, some will feel drawn to you, and some will fall away entirely, because elevation exposes truth, and your elevation is exposing the spiritual intentions of every soul tied to your past season, revealing who can walk with you into your destiny and who must remain in the chapter you are leaving behind. And though this revelation may sting, though your heart may ache for what once felt familiar, trust that heaven is removing only what would have become a burden later, for the house you are moving into demands spiritual clarity, emotional purity, and divine focus, and heaven will not allow anything contaminated to enter the space that is meant to heal you, elevate you, and crown you with the identity you lost along the way. And this house, this divine dwelling that calls you forward, carries the blueprint of your next evolution. And when you step into its atmosphere, the weight of your past will fall away like dust shaken from your feet, and you will feel something inside you click into place, a spiritual alignment so profound it will feel like destiny itself exhaling through your veins, and you will remember, deep in your soul, that you were always meant to reach this point, that every heartbreak carved space for new blessings, that every disappointment redirected you from danger, that every loss purified your path, and that every closed door was heaven protecting you from futures that did not carry your name. And as these realizations pour through your spirit, you will begin to feel a strength rising within you, a certainty you haven't felt in years, a clarity that cuts through confusion like light splitting darkness, because the environment around you will shift dramatically once you are in this home, amplifying your intuition, heightening your spiritual awareness, and aligning your heart with truths that were once buried beneath emotional turmoil. And child, you may not realize it yet, but your spiritual gifts are awakening at a rapid pace. Your dreams are becoming messages, your instincts are becoming warnings, your emotions are becoming revelations, and your inner voice is becoming louder because heaven is preparing you for leadership, abundance, healing, and divine responsibility. And this preparation is accelerating as you draw closer to the home chosen for your becoming, and you will notice signs everywhere. Objects moving in alignment, intuitive impulses that guide your actions, sudden chills that confirm spiritual truth, repeated numbers that mark the path, and waves of peace that fall upon you without explanation. And these signs are not coincidences but coordinates on your destiny's map, guiding you to the exact moment your life will shift. And child, this shift is unavoidable, unstoppable, undeniable, because it was written long before fear touched your heart, long before betrayal bruised your spirit, long before loneliness crept into your bones, long before you doubted your worth, long before you lost yourself in the chaos of life. And now heaven is gathering every broken fragment of you, pulling them into alignment, preparing to breathe life into the version of you that has been sleeping beneath the weight of survival. And when you enter this house, that sleeping version will rise, powerful, clear, awakened, and unshakable, as if the walls themselves whisper destiny into your bones. And the truth is that this home is not just a place you will live. It is the proving ground of your spiritual identity, the sanctuary where heaven will reveal secrets about your path, the altar where your purpose will ignite, the threshold where generational cycles will break, and the space where your heart will remember what peace feels like, and once you encounter this peace, you will understand why every storm had to strike, why every delay had to linger, why every separation had to tear you open, because these were not punishments. They were preparations, and now that preparation is complete, and heaven stands ready to usher you into what has always been yours, releasing blessings that were held back only until your spirit was mature enough to carry them, and as your soul steps closer to this timeline, your heart will feel the shift, your mind will sense the clarity, your energy will vibrate higher, and your path will begin to glow with unmistakable alignment. For nothing, no darkness, no jealousy, no confusion, no doubt, can stop what heaven has already signed into existence, and the life awaiting you inside this home will be the beginning of your rising, your healing, your breakthrough, and your divine restoration, and now your spirit is ready for what comes next. My beloved child, as you enter this final revelation, breathe deeply, for heaven is about to seal the message that has been rising inside your spirit since the moment these words first touched your soul, and this final stretch of your journey into the house chosen for you carries a weight, a holiness, a sense of destiny that cannot be compared to anything you have lived before, because everything you endured, everything you survived, everything you lost, everything that broke you and everything that rebuilt you has been guiding you to this exact moment in time, and the angels that have walked beside you through every dark valley now stand with victory woven into their wings, surrounding you with a shield of light so powerful that no shadow can cross its boundaries, for this last part of your transition is the merging of your past, present, and future. A divine convergence where heaven aligns what your spirit has always known with what your life is finally ready to receive, and child, you must understand that nothing in your journey was wasted, not a single tear, not a single heartbreak, not a single disappointment, not a single moment where you questioned your worth or doubted your path, because all of it carved the vessel of who you are now, shaping your insight, awakening your intuition, strengthening your spirit, and preparing you for the magnitude of the blessings waiting in the space you are destined to call home, for that home is not merely a building but a spiritual elevation point, a place where the air itself will feel different, where the light will fall on you differently, where the silence will heal you instead of haunting you, and where your future will begin unfolding in ways your mind never dared to imagine. And as heaven prepares you to cross into this new dimension, feel how your old identity loosens its grip, how the version of you tied to survival begins to fade, how the weight you carried through years of quiet suffering starts to lift, because in this house, your spirit will reclaim its power, your heart will rediscover its rhythm, and your purpose will ignite like dawn breaking over mountains that once felt impossible to climb, and child, this ignition will not be subtle. It will be a spiritual eruption, a divine awakening, a moment where everything within you aligns with the truth that you were chosen, protected, guided, and destined for far more than the pain that once tried to define you, and the angels who guard the threshold of this home have already begun weaving restoration into its atmosphere, filling its corners with peace, blessing its foundation, purifying its energy, and creating a sanctuary so aligned with your spirit that when you step through its door, your soul will recognize it instantly, as though it has been waiting centuries for your arrival, and this recognition will not be logical. It will be spiritual, instinctive, cellular, ancient, a knowing that rises through your bones like a memory from before your birth, because destiny is not discovered through thought but through resonance, and this home resonates with every prayer you whispered, every tear you cried, every hope you buried, and every promise heaven has held on your behalf, and once you cross into this space, revelations will flood you, revealing truths you could not access in your previous environment, unveiling hidden motives of those around you, illuminating patterns you've outgrown, and exposing spiritual assignments that once clung to your energy, and this illumination will be liberating, powerful, and cleansing, burning away the remnants of cycles that tried to repeat themselves, breaking generational burdens that never belonged to you, and restoring parts of your heart that you forgot were still alive. And as these revelations rise, so too will your spiritual gifts awaken with greater clarity. Your intuition sharpening, your dreams becoming prophetic, your emotions becoming channels of divine guidance, your instincts becoming messages from the unseen, and your ability to sense energy elevating to levels that will allow you to navigate your new life with wisdom, confidence, and protection. And child, the reason this awakening is happening now is because your spirit is stepping into its rightful timeline, the one heaven preserved for you even when life tried to pull you off course, and this timeline contains blessings that were stored away until you were spiritually mature enough to carry them without shrinking, sabotaging, or surrendering them. And now that your soul has risen through the fire, now that your heart has survived the storms, now that your spirit has reclaimed its strength, heaven is ready to release what was once withheld. Not as a reward for suffering but as fulfillment of a divine promise written into the core of your existence, and all the signs you have been seeing, synchronicities repeating like whispers, chills running through you without reason, dreams that feel like memories, thoughts that feel guided, moments of déjà vu that make your breath catch, are confirmations that you are walking the path designed for your elevation. And the closer you come to this house, the stronger these signs will become, for the spiritual realm is speaking loudly, urgently, clearly, preparing you to step into the environment where your destiny will flourish. And child, when you finally stand in that space, when you feel the air shift, when your spirit settles into its rightful position, when you take that first breath inside your new home, something in the universe will realign. Something in your lineage will be rewritten, something in your story will resurrect, and something in your soul will whisper, "This is it, this is where it all begins," and heaven will smile because the path that was once painful has led you to the place where purpose, peace, and prophecy merge into one unfolding destiny that no force of darkness can touch, no human intention can block, and no fear can diminish. For you have reached the turning point of your life, the divine intersection where everything shifts, everything heals, everything elevates, and everything that was once broken becomes the foundation of a life restored by heaven itself. And now the secret rests in your hands.